It's a whole new year. Let's do this thing. Crew, let's ranch it up. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us on this all-new episode of the Ranch It Up Radio Show. I'm Jeff Tigger Earhart. A big thank you goes out to our partners, ranchchannel.com. New listings and information coming up. Check out ranchchannel.com. Jorgensen Land and Cattle, Transova Genetics, Clear Springs Cattle Company and their annual Bred for Balance sale. Axiota Animal Health, they bring us Multi-Min and Lactopro. The American Gelbvieh Association. Imogene Ingredients bringing us Farmatan. Get Farmatan in the cow's diet now, y'all, to prevent scours this calving season. Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, the Tri-State Livestock News, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station.
Cattle Battle.
The happiest of New Year's to you and yours. Holidays are behind us and back to business. Here we go. We're diving right into this thing. Are you buying? Are you selling? Maybe it's both. Maybe fixing to move some of those calves that you backgrounded. Clear the lots out. Make room for the cows. Maybe trying to market some females. Maybe you're trying to purchase some females. Regardless, it is back to business. Bred females. Oh boy, here he goes. Yep, I'm talking about him again. We're talking about the prices of those bred heifers and bred cows. Last year, we recapped some of the Thanksgiving and Christmas and December sales. Hot is an understatement. I reached out to Marty Ropp with Allied Genetic Resources. Now, Marty and his team, they visit with producers across the country as well, you know, when it comes to marketing bulls and buying bulls and females and pot loads of calves and feeding cattle. I tell you what, if it has four legs and goes moo, these guys are on it. First thing that I wanted to banter about was just kind of your take on this market a little bit, and especially I'm going to pick on bred heifers because I do every year at this time, have for the past 14 years now that we've been on the air. And boy, howdy. I mean, what do you think of these prices? I'm just calling you out, Marty. It's incredible when some of these bred heifers are bringing commercial breds are $3,600. Young stock cows are bringing they're knocking on $4,000. What's your thoughts on these girls?
I think it's about time. That part feels good. There was, even through the fall, we struggled to get much over 3,000 early through the fall. And but we know they're worth more than that. People have been waiting for some confidence that the market was going to stay high on calves, and waiting for a little drop in the interest rate. Both those things are happening to some extent. I don't know. I just think that's driving a price forward. And plus, the other part of it is that there's not that many for sale. And so if you are looking for some, you have to compete in order to own them.
And now we were kind of talking off air a little bit, and you're into bull sales season. Here we go, and it's just kind of getting revved up for your crew at AGR. And you said sales have been exceptional was the word, the adjective that you used to describe them.
Yeah, we have not had a sale this fall that hasn't been a record sale. And that's one or two a week since the end of September. So it's good. People are making some money in the beef business right now, and the seed stock people are enjoying some of that shared success with their commercial customers. So it's been good. We're out of the bull sale business now until about the 18th of January. So, but the fall was the best it's ever been.
So, do you think that is because, I mean, obviously, good prices dictate good prices. You and I have had that conversation many, many times. But do you think that guys and gals that are out selecting their bulls are getting more selective, and they're willing to pay for something that they know that works, that they have maybe more confidence? I'm talking about all kinds of data and information, and statistically, bulls, we've got all the genomics and all the information that statistically we can determine, what bulls should be able to produce what type of genetics in our cow herd. So do you think that there's some of that in addition to, just good prices breed good prices?
Yeah, we're seeing more differentiation. The better bulls, from a genetic standpoint, are bringing substantially more than just bulls. And whether that's operation by operation, reputation and the amount of commitment to technology and commitment to genetic improvement. People get paid for that, and that's good. That's what it should be. Better products should be worth more. A bull's not just a bull, and even within those operations, the bulls that are bringing the most money are the ones that have some genetic and genomic security behind them, some risk management built right into them. As far as long-term profitability, whether it's just the next set of calves or whether it's trying to look at building a cow herd for 5, 10, 20 years from now.
Marty, happy holidays to you and the crew from Allied Genetic Resources. Now, we're going to hear more from Marty in the weeks to come on a whole new venture, and this has to do with bringing more people back to working in agriculture. This is great. This is a big one. Okay, now back to the female scene. Up next is John Fisher from Stockmen's Livestock, all the way up in Dickinson, North Dakota. John, thanks for pulling the truck over, literally, and visiting with us. How would you describe this bred female market?
Outstanding.
Why is that?
I think it's the most money everybody's been getting for their calves that they've ever seen. It should trickle down to what these bred cows are worth. There's still some sets of them bred cows that kind of worth the chips.
So, are guys reinvesting? Is that kind of what you're seeing? Is that guys had a good market selling those feeder calves and ringing the bell, and then they're just going around and just reinvesting those dollars?
That's what it looks like this year. I think so many dollars worth coming towards them, and they just figure last few years, if they haven't kept any heifers back or bought any cows, it was as good a year as any to reinvest it into some bred stock.
Well, and I watched your Thanksgiving sale, the females and the cows that sold just a few days after Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, that thing was incredible. I don't know exactly, but I know the average for the stock cows was up several $100s from the year before. Bred heifers was the exact same thing. I don't know, like $700 higher on the average. So are you seeing any differentiation of prices of if they're baldy cows, if they're red cows? Do you see a little bit more demand for all black cows? Or is it just if they're good quality cows and they come in good condition, raised right, good management, by golly, they're going to ring the bell?
Yeah, good quality sells no matter what color it is. We do, I think top the market was a set of baldy cows, but next sale it might be a set of reds or blacks.
And that's how it should be, right? I mean, finally, where it doesn't matter what color they are, just good quality brings good prices.
Exactly.
So do guys, are they picking and choosing a little bit tougher this year? Simply because, I mean, let's compare it to a few years ago. Say you've got X amount of dollars from your banker or whatever that you can spend on bred females. Well, this year we're not going to be able to purchase maybe as many as we were in the past. So are you seeing guys being a little bit more selective of quality than they have in the past?
Oh, I think for, a certain amount of it, yeah, you see a lot of guys being a little pickier, choosier, what they do buy. Do know that, like, the banks aren't just giving out a hordes of money, so they got to do their math and figure out what works best for them, whether it's a solid mouth cow, a short-term cow, or a young cow. So,
and I always do this to you, and I'm going to put you on the spot again and make you rub that magic 8 ball as we're moving into a new year. What are you thinking here in these winter months going forward? Feeder calves, guys selling some of these backgrounded calves. Are you still a very optimistic here starting a new month and moving into bull sale season? Are you optimistic that, by golly, I mean, unless something changes, we're looking at good prices?
Exactly. I think the cattle on feed report came back out lower numbers than last year out on feed. I think there's going to be a shortage of cattle after the first year. We had many customers that usually background their calves, bring them later on here. And they already moved them. So I think we're going to see tighter numbers of calves moving after the first.
Thanks for the time, John. I will have the latest market report from their December 30th bred female sale in the show notes for this episode. Check it out, which I remind you that we are always sharing what these critters are selling for, especially on our Ranch It Up, Herd It Here weekly recap, which airs every Friday. And you can also find it on our website, along with all the various different podcasting platforms and on Facebook, so check it out. Break time. When we come back, the latest agriculture and information news you need to hear, and it's all right here on the Ranch It Up Radio Show, so keep it hard. Why not give Gelbvieh and Balancer bulls a try this year? Raise replacement females with added fertility, increased longevity, and greater productivity. Get increased performance, improve feed efficiency, and increase the carcass merit. Maximize crossbreeding with Gelbvieh and Balancer.
RanchChannel.com, bull sales, western events, product information right at your fingertips on the ultimate cowboy-friendly platform. Want to follow up-to-date markets? RanchChannel.com. No need to dig for information on all these different websites. It's all right there on RanchChannel.com.
Attention cattle producers. Boost your herd's trace mineral status with Axiota Animal Health's Multi-Min 90. This injectable solution delivers essential trace minerals known to support cattle health and reproduction. Don't settle for less when it comes to your herd health. Trust Axiota Animal Health to keep your cattle in prime condition. Visit your local supplier or veterinarian to learn more about Multi-Min 90. Multi-Min 90, because healthy cattle mean a healthy bottom line.
LivestockMarket.com. We hear from the crew at LivestockMarket.com every week. Bulls, cows, bred heifers, open replacement heifers, cow-calf pairs, feeders and stockers, horses, pigs, goats, sheep, show stock, hay and straw, and even alpacas. All listed on LivestockMarket.com.
RanchChannel.com. Bull sales, western events, product information, and more right at your fingertips on the ultimate cowboy-friendly platform. Want to follow up-to-date markets? Head to RanchChannel.com. No need to dig for information on all these different websites. It's all right there on RanchChannel.com. Cow country news, you know, the cow stuff. Here's what's coming out of the newsroom today. A veteran of the first Trump administration's agriculture team has been named to be Deputy Secretary of the USDA. President-elect Donald Trump announced his nomination for Stephen Vaden to be deputy under Brooke Rollins, a former think tank executive already tapped to head the USDA. A Yale Law graduate, Vaden served as USDA General Counsel from 2018 to 2020 when he was confirmed to a judicial appointment on the U.S. Court of International Trade. He has served as a board member of the Commodity Credit Corporation. And now to the latest on H5N1. A patient in Louisiana was hospitalized with a severe case of avian influenza, H5N1, making the first instance in the United States of severe illness linked to the virus. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, announced in a news release and in a press call. The CDC said the Louisiana patient, one of 61 human cases to occur in the United States since April, was infected with a D1.1 virus recently detected in wild birds and poultry in the United States and in recent human cases in British Columbia, Canada, and in the state of Washington. Officials noted the D1.1 strain of H5N1 is different from the B3.13 genotype detected in dairy cows, sporadic human cases in multiple states, and some poultry outbreaks in the United States. No person-to-person spread of H5 bird flu has been detected. But now California Governor Gavin Newsom issued a state of emergency in an effort to streamline the Golden State's response to highly pathogenic avian influenza. Several California agencies have developed coordinated responses to address and minimize farm worker exposures, lower raw dairy product contamination, and mitigate the spread of the virus, the government said in a statement. He went on to say this proclamation is targeted action to ensure government agencies have the resources and flexibility they need to respond quickly to this outbreak. About 680 dairy farms are under quarantine from HPAI outbreaks, while 6.2 million birds have been hit and 36 people infected across California. Now, a commercial poultry worker in northwest Iowa is now the first confirmed human case of HPAI in the Hawkeye State. That is according to the Iowa Department of Health and Human Services. An estimated 6.7 million birds have been affected in more than a dozen counties across Iowa. That is according to USDA's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, or APHIS. Now, looking to the north, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency announced that more than 13.9 million birds have been impacted by HPAI in the most recent tally of the spread of H5N1 infections across 9 provinces. British Columbia is reporting the highest number of HPAI cases among 8.3 million birds. New Brunswick has the lowest number of birds affected by avian influenza, with fewer than 100 birds at 2 locations being confirmed with the virus. Now we're heading to Texas, where the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, the TCEQ, fined STX Beef Company $200,000 for violations linked to foul odors coming from its Corpus Christi facility. That according to a local report. The penalty follows years of complaints about smells traced to cattle processing and wastewater management issues. TCEQ also cited equipment failures, inadequate scrubber systems, and poor record keeping. Of the fine, $2,000 is already paid, with $40,000 due immediately. Over $80,000 will support Texas A&M University Corpus Christi's Auto Check program addressing regional vehicle emissions. The company has 30 days to submit an odor control plan, including equipment repairs and new systems, and must comply with air quality rules for 5 years. And now, not like there wasn't enough confusion going on, producers, pay attention to this one. The Corporate Transparency Act filing requirements are back in effect, following a court decision that reverses the injunction that previously halted this mandate. NCBA Executive Director of Government Affairs Kent Bacchus said that the Corporate Transparency Act requires millions of family farmers and ranchers to file complex paperwork and disclose beneficial ownership information with the federal government under penalty of severe fines and jail time. Now, earlier last week, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals lifted a nationwide preliminary injunction on the enforcement of the Corporate Transparency Act, holding that the government is likely to prevail in a constitutional challenge. This decision places many small businesses in jeopardy that have not yet filed beneficial ownership information with the Federal Crimes Enforcement Network. That's a division of the U.S. Department of the Treasury. In light of the Fifth Circuit's decision, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network announced it will delay enforcement of the Corporate Transparency Act until January 13th. That's all, January 13th. It is highly recommended that you visit with your accountant and or tax professionals and or attorneys on exactly what needs to be filed and where. And now, crew, that's all I've got coming out of the news department for this episode. Stay with us. We've got a lot more of the Ranch It Up radio show coming up after the break. Y'all know the rest. Keep it parked. Premium Simmental and Sim Angus genetics from Clear Springs Cattle Company. Their annual Bred for Balance production sale February 14th, Valentine's Day in Starbuck, Minnesota. Selling 130 bulls, 60 females, an elite donor, and 5 fabulous heifers.
Travis Wolf here with Clear Springs Cattle Company. Bulls carry a 3-year breeding soundness warranty, and cost share trucking is available on all cattle. If you're in the market for profitable beef genetics that can move your herd in the right direction, be sure to join us in Starbuck.
Head to bredforbalance.com and ranchchannel.com for all sale information.
There's still lots of time to market those calves. Add Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners to the list of marketing options. With over 30,000 feeder cattle marketing annually, the Allied Genetic team works to help commercial producers capture top dollars. Contact any of the Allied team by heading to AlliedGeneticResources.com.
The best way to raise beef on pasture, on crop residue, or in a dry lot, it's Westway feed products. Westway liquid supplements support increased forage utilization, efficiency, convenience, and sustainability. Find your nearest rep by calling 800-800-7517 or head to westwayfeed.com on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok.
We run a lot of high milk-producing mama cows in our herd.
Mitch Kenobi of Norfolk dealt with scours in his herd.
So bad that we sent samples off to South Dakota State and Kansas State. Heard about Farmatan. As a producer, I know it's our job to limit our inputs, but when it comes to Farmatan, Dad and I don't blink an eye. It is a must for every calving season.
Adding Farmatan to your livestock's nutrition this fall will rid your new herd of scours in the spring. Go to FarmatanUSA.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Ranch It Up radio show. To the sale barn we go. Have had lots of people reach out. They just kind of want to know what prices are across the area. Yeah, you can jump on sale reports, and yes, we have these links available in the show notes at ranchitupshow.com for this episode. Now, a lot of times, and I appreciate Tony, who sent me a message on this. He said, you're always talking about black cattle or black and white cattle or red cattle. What about some other ones? All right, Tony, I am happy to oblige. I am heading to Pratt Livestock in Pratt, Kansas. Here is a big swath. These are Shaye and Shaye cross heifers. The video is great on these. These girls look fantastic in the ring. They're 758 weight heifers, okay? 758 pounds. They're Shaye and Shaye cross. Let's listen to how they sell.
230 feedback steer, man. 236 and a half. 6 and a half. Slope count 236 even. Put them on 15, 47, nowhere. 15 on 47, nowhere.
Pratt Livestock in Pratt, Kansas. 758-pound heifers. They were Shaye and Shaye cross. Beautiful set that was in the ring. Sold for $236. That is just a tick under $1,790 a head for 758 weight Shaye and Shaye cross heifers in Pratt, Kansas. Next up, we head to Torrington Livestock, Torrington, Wyoming. Here are 64 head of red and red baldy steers. Ringing a bell on these boys from the Wine Cup Ranch, weighing 692 pounds, reds and red baldies. Let's listen to how they sell. All right, I got to be honest. I had to shut the audio off a little bit earlier on this one because as a lot of us, when we're sitting in the sale barn and just taking those videos that we do, you could hear all the other conversations of all the other cattle buyers that were sitting around and people coughing in the background. Didn't think you needed to hear that. So let me just recap that one for y'all. Torrington Livestock, Torrington, Wyoming. The Wine Cup Ranch, they brought the good ones to town. That was 64 head of red and red baldy steers weighing 692 pounds, selling for $274. So let me just run the calculator for that one. That is $1,896 a head. Red and red baldy steers weighing 692 in Torrington, Wyoming from the Wine Cup Ranch. All right, now we're heading to ranchchannel.com. An update. We talk about it each and every week. If you aren't using it, you need to. We've got the markets and updates on there each and every week. In fact, the markets update every few minutes. If you want to save it to your home screen, here's what you do. I've had some people ask us about this. When you go to ranchchannel.com, on your phone, go up to the little upper right-hand corner. There's going to be those three little dots. Tap on that, and you can save Ranch Channel to your home screen. That way you don't have to open up another browsing window to jump on there. You can just go there and boom, you're checking the markets and all the information. Now, updates on ranchchannel.com. Here's what we have to date. We're working on a few more sales over the weekend that are going to be coming online, but bull sale season is here. The first up is Wrestler Land and Cattle. They're selling bulls, they're selling heifers, they're selling semen, and those of you that follow the Red Angus deal, semen packages out of Destiny. That's a big one. Spruce Hill Angus Ranch in South Dakota, their sale is coming up fast. Prairie Hills Gelbvieh, the first weekend in February. The Bred for Balance sale in Clear Springs Cattle Company. We talk with Travis quite a bit here throughout the year on the program. He's got one of the best set of bulls. He said he's probably raised there in Minnesota. Check it out. Clear Springs Cattle Company and the Bred for Balance sale. Wassum Red Angus, their bull and heifer sale is coming up fast. Vollmer Angus Ranch, Jorgensen Land and Cattle. Those are just a few of what's going on ranchchannel.com. Save it to your home screen and use it because 'tis the season. Lots and lots of bull sales are coming up. We're getting lots of entries and listings that are going to be on ranchchannel.com across the country, including horse sales. So make sure you save it to your home screen. Check it often, my friends.
Tired of the confusion about which feed products are the best? Hey, I'm Shaye Wanner, and I'm the host of the Casual Cattle Conversations podcast. I visited with Kelly and Kelly from Westway Feed Products to gain a better understanding of liquid feed and how cattle producers can learn which feed products are right for their operation. Here's a small piece of our conversation.
I think the most important thing we want to remember when we're talking about the economics of cattle is it's the cost per head per day, right? Not the cost per ton. We get a lot of producers that are looking at, this feed stuff is $10 per ton, but they've got to eat a bunch of it, right? As opposed to something that's $30 per ton. Well, that's higher, and so it's more expensive, but they eat very little of it, right? I think some of the economics behind liquid feed were very affordable when we look at price per head per per day. And part of that is our economic protein source, which is urea. Part of it is our economic energy source, the molasses and the sugars and stuff that are brought in by the other liquid feed products, right?
Listen to the full story by searching for Casual Cattle Conversations on your favorite podcast player. Happy ranching, folks.
And now that's going to wrap it up for today. A big thanks from our crew to yours. Marty Ropp with Allied Genetic Resources, John Fisher, Stockmen's Livestock, Shaye Wanner with Casual Cattle Conversations. And a big thank you goes out to our partners, RanchChannel.com, Jorgensen Land and Cattle, Transova Genetics, Clear Springs Cattle Company and their annual Bred for Balance sale, Axiota Animal Health bringing us Multi-Man and Lacta Pro, the American Gelbvieh Association, Imogene Ingredients bringing us Farmatan, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, the Tri-State Livestock News, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station. And crew, so glad y'all came with us one more time as we ranch it up. Going into season number 5, crew. Be sure to follow and like us on Facebook at Ranch It Up Show. Our email is ranchitupshow@gmail.com. You can call and you can text 24/7. That phone number is 707-RANCH-20, 707-726-2420. Spread the good word and join us again next week where it's always Tigger and Beck approved. Stay ranchy and ranch it up.